The Nun 2.
There's something wrong with the school. Something doesn't feel right.
The Nun 2 is yet another movie in the Conjuring franchise, and how many does that make? 8? Okay, let's get this out of the way. I didn't like the first Nun movie. I thought the scares were lame, most of the movie was predictable, and mostly I didn't think the movie had the balls to do anything serious with the main cast, and turns out, I was right. So when The Nun 2 was announced, I was a little less than enthused. So going into this movie, in the movie's defense, I wasn't really in the mood to give it the biggest of chances, and after hearing every Tom, Dick, and Harry dump on this movie, I really was rolling my eyes when the movie started. But the Halloween marathon list must be respected, so let's get into this with spoilers, cause yeah, for obvious reasons. The movie starts off with the demon nun boiling holy water in a church and setting a priest on fire. Alright, good start. Our nun from the first movie, yeah, I don't really care enough to say her character's name or even look it up. Sounding pretty enthused, aren't I? The story from the first movie is a legend now told amongst the other nuns, and our nun's name was kept out of the public record. Like she wouldn't want to take the credit, just a classic tale of sexism. Meanwhile, our average Joe from the first movie, Frenchie, is working at a boarding school. Remember how it was revealed that he was Lorraine's big case at the end of The Nun 1? Well, spoiler alert, he is alive and well, and still possessed after they teased that he was possessed at the end of the last movie.
Wow, shocker!
The movie spends half the time with our nun and Frenchie. Anyways, we get treated to the demon nun breaking a little French delivery girl's neck in secret. Okay, gloves are off in this one. Meanwhile, our nun has a shit dream with a shit jump scare. Movie had a good start, but now it's lost it. She gets an assignment from the church. They think the demon is back and need her help. She asks about the priest from the first movie, but they say he died of cholera. Well, I guess that's one way to write a character out of a story. She accepts the mission and investigates. Meanwhile, another rando or two die at the boarding school.
I don't care.
I am sorry, but if you want to scare your audience, take out characters that actually matter to the main characters or are at least on screen long enough for us to like them, then kill them. Our nun figures out that the demon nun is possibly after a relic, the Eyes of St. Lucy, which can be powerful in its hands because the demon is a fallen angel, or it can be used against it. So that's pretty much the crux of what happens until the final showdown, and the nun and her sidekicks say a prayer that destroy the demon nun until The Conjuring 2, and free Frenchie until Lorraine Warren encounters him in The Conjuring 1, and that's pretty much the whole movie. Okay, I may not be an expert about horror movies or storytelling, but here is some advice that this movie did not follow and could have helped in making it a better movie. Step 1, don't make obvious cash grab spin-offs. I know this step kind of defeats the purpose of the whole movie itself, but the way you can work around it is to actually have a thorough story laid out, and if you need 2 movies to tell it, so be it. But if you don't, it just feels cheap. And these sequels to the Conjuring universe movies always feel like they are pulling it out of their asses, and this movie is no exception. Step 2, if you're gonna have tie-in characters to other movies, try to not establish them and then make a prequel if the main character contribution to the story is just being the victim. We already know what's going to happen to them, so the threat of them dying, remember, this is a horror movie. If there is no threat of death for your characters, maybe you're writing for the wrong genre. The threat of them dying just doesn't exist. I knew nothing really that bad was going to happen to Frenchie because he had to survive to be in The Conjuring 1, and the demon couldn't fully be defeated because she had to return for The Conjuring 2. Step 3.
Just grow some fucking balls!
I knew that since the movie was taking place in a boarding school, they wouldn't have the balls to kill off any of the kids. It's a tough thing to watch, but plenty of movies have done it, and it always packs a serious punch. You don't even have to like the kids, and it'll still hit you deeply. If the only characters that die are the ones you don't care about, then why should they be impactful? And adding on to that, step 4, have a consistent lethal level for your villains. The villain in this movie could kill characters, which is good. However, it never killed any of the characters who had decent screen time, which is bad. If you want people to be scared of your villains, there are a few ways to make them scary, and one of the most important ones is to kill off your characters. Follow these 4 steps and you could easily make a better horror movie than The Nun 2, which I am sure will make enough money to either get another sequel or fuel the fire in the Conjuring universe to get another movie added to it. By the way, there is an end credits scene where Ed and Lorraine Warren are getting a phone call leading to another Conjuring movie, and considering the last now 3 Conjuring movies sucked, I am a bit less than enthused about yet another Conjuring type movie. Tomorrow we're watching No One Will Save You.